everybody. This is Casey hanging out with you on this Wednesday, April 1st already. I just can't believe how fast the year is flying by, and I really appreciate all the listeners hanging out with me each and every Wednesday, and then again on a Sunday when we re-air the entire wall-to-wall country show. Glad you guys are on board. And of course, you're well aware that into the second hour of my show, I have the opportunity to have a chance to speak with some country artist or someone who has to do with the country music industry in one way, shape, or form, whether it's a classic artist of days gone by or somebody who's new and upcoming. And we've got a very exciting guest on board with us today, part of a duo hailing from Kentucky. Not in the professional business for very long, but on fire with some things, and we're very, very happy to have on board Chris Bentley of the duo Sunday Best. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I am wonderful. How are you today?
I am awesome, and you guys are on fire. You guys are just doing some crazy stuff, touring all over the place, and we're going to touch base on some of those things, play a little bit of your music, give people a taste of your quote-unquote genre, because you have a very unique style with your music and things along that line. But first, let's go back a little bit, Chris, and tell everybody where you and Nick came from, how you guys got together, and how Sunday Best was born.
Well, we are both from a small area in eastern Kentucky called Prestonsburg, and we both grew up probably about 3 or 4 miles from each other. Nick's a year ahead of me in school, and a year older than me. So we kind of became friends through sports in middle school. And Nick has 2 brothers and a sister that are younger than him. So, we all kind of knew of each other, and then just ended up kind of growing up together and playing sports together, and then eventually got involved in the music, which was very prevalent in both of our childhoods. And we both played and sang in church all through elementary school, middle school, and high school. We went to different churches, but being from a small town, everybody still knows everybody. So, we, like we tell people, we've been friends for, since we can remember, really, and which makes what we're doing pretty special. So, having started music in church, that's kind of where we got the Sunday Best from. Obviously, you wear your Sunday Best to church, but where we're from, we say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so we just figured we'd spell it how we say it. Yeah, and a lot of people still, it's hard for them to get the Sunday out. They want to say Sunday or Sunday's Best. But hopefully once we tell them that there is no A, they remember it.
Okay, and so you guys got together and you guys started putting some music together and decided to do this duo. Originally it was just the 2 of you, am I correct?
Yeah, we both played sports. We were heavily involved in sports, like I mentioned earlier. Sports and music really was the only things kind of going on when we were growing up, and we were involved in both quite a bit. But I played basketball in college, in a liberal arts college in central Kentucky, and Nick played football at Pikeville College in eastern Kentucky. So there for 4 years or so, we were kind of doing our own thing in different parts of the state with sports. And once we both finished that up, I guess it was 2009, early 2010, Nick had messaged me about some drums, and he had started to play some back around the eastern Kentucky area, just around the college and stuff. So we got together on a Friday night and played our first gig on a Saturday, and here we are. We really haven't stopped since. So, I think we fell back on music after we realized our sports probably had came to an end.
When you did that, now you actually produced a little CD on your own and put that out there before you started doing the bigger CDs that you're doing now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we actually did a demo that not many people know about. I think it was, hell, it might have been 10 songs, 7, 8, 9, 10 songs, back in about 2011, late 2010, 2011, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And because we had been playing a lot of cover gigs, just on patios and stuff around Lexington where we were living. Nick, after I graduated college, I moved to Lexington, and Nick, I persuaded him to move from Pikeville to Lexington with me, which is about 2.5 hours away. And we were just playing outdoor gigs, just wherever we could really sit in front of people, mostly restaurants. And then we did that demo, and it was just the two of us in a studio with another guy. And then the following year, we did Door Without a Screen, which is our first record, but we did that on our own with Coleman Saunders, the guy that helped produce it. And so, yeah, we've always kind of tried to be self-sufficient and control as much as we can and do as much as we possibly can on our own.
People say that you guys, I guess there's actually a quote from your producer now, R.S. Field, that says something along the lines is your music country? And I think he answers the question, well, of course, it was made in this country.
Yeah, I know. That's one of my favorite quotes.
And I just really enjoyed that. But you know, and he also makes a statement that says along the lines of, it doesn't, you know, what is genre anymore? There's so many crisscross genres, and that's one of the things I talk about on my show a lot, because generally my show is country, but I've interviewed so many different styles of music because a lot of it still relates to country or comes back to country. Or, I mean, you've got Steven Tyler wanting to come out with a country album now, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so truly, the genres have become grayed, and you've managed to mix up a lot of different things. Your sound, if I'm correct, is, especially with your new album, has the sound of, it's like a little country, folk, rock, bluegrass, R&B. You guys are kind of like pulling from several different things and putting together and possibly creating your own genre.
Well, we're influenced by so many different things and different styles, and we feel very fortunate to have grown up, you know, under the musical taste of our parents and the people we were around. That, and you got to think too, you know, it's 2015. There's more music out in the world today than there's ever been in the history of music. So to really, it's, you know, like you said, what are genres anymore? There's so much music out there that, you know, I think you're better off, you know, in our situation, just trying to be as much of ourselves as possible. And like I said, we have so many different influences, and we listen to so many different things that, you know, there's a lot of similarities to multiple different genres, if you will. And we're just trying to be as much of ourselves. And in doing that, I guess that's where you become different and unique in your own way.
Well, and no, and I think you know, you kind of hit the nail on the head where you say be true to yourself, because whatever kind of music you guys have decided to make, or however you decide a song is going to go lyrically as well as musically or whatever, you know, you're going to put it out there, and people who like it are going to listen to it, and the people who don't like it just aren't going to listen to it. They can go listen to something else, because there is such a variety, especially, you know, with the social media type, you know, thing, and the technologies that are out there today. So I think you know, that might even be one of the best pieces of advice for upcoming artists is, no matter what, you know, you got to do what's right to you. Am I correct? Is that something you tell a new and upcoming artist, even though you're kind of in that boat as well? But, you know, you guys got some significant experience already under your belt.
I think not just to an upcoming artist, but to any, you know, young adult that is growing up and really trying to figure out what their purpose is in life. If you're working the front desk at Walgreens,
mm-hmm.
You know, if you're working at Starbucks, if you're a lawyer, a doctor, whatever you are, if that's what your passion is and that's where your heart is, and you feel like that's your purpose, and that's what makes you feel the most fulfilled, I think just pursue that until you can't pursue it anymore and put everything into it. And for us, it's music.
True.
So, like I said, like like we both have already mentioned, I think if you can find out who you are and just become the most of yourself that you can be, not only will you be comfortable, but you'll feel fulfilled. And that's the same way with our music and kind of what we're doing right now. We've never felt more in tune with that part of our lives, and we just really feel like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And as a result, we're having there goes my dog barking. We're having success with it. So, and just getting to do what we love to do that's success in itself, really.
Yeah, and I think what people need to really kind of also recognize with you guys is you're obviously incredibly dedicated to what you're doing, and your passion is so big because you guys. I mentioned it early in the conversation. You guys are just on fire. You've already released 3 albums in all but as many years. Your first, other than your little demo, your first one out was Door Without a Screen, and then Bring Up the Sun, and now you've just released another new one this past December with getting some serious recognition, and that is your third album out there, Salvation City.
Yeah.
And you guys are you writing all the music? I'm pretty sure you wrote all the music on Salvation City, but did you write all the music on all the albums so far?
Yes.
Wow. See, you guys are crazy. Oh my gosh, when do you guys sleep?
I think we're just lucky to have, we both went to college and we've always pursued where we felt like our hearts were. And like I said, music and sports, those were 2 things that really got us going at an early age. And we've always been involved with music, whether playing as a hobby or listening or whatever. We took sports as far as we could, and when doing that, we both got a college degree.
Right.
I got a degree in English, and Nick was, a history major. So I think we just became a little more mature and well-rounded. And then when we started getting into music and really getting into songwriting, we had just had some experience and done some things and learned a lot of things, not just about music per se or writing, but how to, just kind of do what we felt was right for us.
Right.
In doing that, we just have felt this strong sense of urgency, and we've been lucky to have some pretty good songs come out of it.
Nice. Well, let's talk about some of those songs. Obviously, people can find out, more about those previous albums, but let's talk about some of the ones that you've got going on right now that I know you're doing some videos with and things along that line. I guess one of the big ones is Do You Want to Go? You want to tell us a little bit about that one?
Sure. That's a song me and Nick both wrote together. Kind of, a lot of our songs we kind of wait around for an inspiration or something to kind of trigger an idea, and then we just kind of run with it. Nothing's ever really forced with us and our music. But that was one song that it took a little bit of time to figure out exactly how we wanted it, and then we didn't really. Most songs on this record, on Salvation City, we had already written, and we were starting to play some of them live. For example, Southern Boy, Four Door, Piece of Work. There's a couple others, but Do You Want to Go was one that we felt really good about, but we weren't necessarily sure how it would turn out in the studio. But I think it's the most rock song on the record, that, or A Sweet Thing. But I don't know. It's one of my favorite songs. I think it's just it's very positive and uplifting, and I hope that's the message that kind of comes across with it. it's one of our more proud songs that we have.
And that one's actually getting quite a bit of attention. Rolling Stone, CMT, and Zeus, these guys are airing the video for you now that you've got that.
Yeah.
When did you finish the video up, Chris?
Actually, we probably finished it. It's been a couple months since we finished it, and then it took a while to get edited. And yeah, they sent it over to Rolling Stone, and they loved it and wanted to kind of throw it out there, as well as CMT and Zeus. And it was funny because our friend Joe at the Rolling Stone, we sent him over the record before it came out just to listen to it. And "Do You Want to Go" was one of the first songs he commented on, saying how he thought it was a big radio hit. And it was just cool. We never jumped out at us that way. Not that it's a hit by any means, but it seems to be a song that a lot of people have gravitated towards.
So we're hanging out with Chris Bentley, one of the two of the original duo of Sunday Best with Nick Jamerson. Buddies from high school, got together, kind of lived their lives on their own for a little bit, and then reconnected and have just turned into a powerhouse band, doing their thing, getting out there. You guys have been touring over 300 dates in the last couple of months, covering 25 states, Canada. Oh my gosh, you guys have been busy.
About the last year and a half, we've had very little time off. We got off for Thanksgiving, and then we took December off, but that was the first, week or multiple weeks consecutively that we've had off for a very long time. So, but we enjoy the road. We just got back recently, the past couple of weeks. We've been up to New York and Pittsburgh and D.C. and down into Georgia and Tennessee, Kentucky, really all around the South. So that's what we enjoy doing. We found that's the biggest way for us to get out and spread the word about what we're doing is to get out and play live, and it's what we have the most fun doing.
And yeah, you guys are definitely doing that. You're playing sold-out shows in a row. People just seem to really be connecting with you guys and loving your music, to the point of where you received keys to a city in Kentucky. You want to tell us a little bit about that? That's an interesting accolade to put on your resume.
Yeah, our hometown that we grew up in. It's actually pretty cool. We had a sold-out show back at home at the Mountain Arts Center, right where we grew up. It was 1,000 people, and back in March. And yeah, the mayor of the city, they met us there before the show, and they gave us keys to the city. And my first question was like, "Now, does this open up the restaurants late at night?" To which I got to know. But
oh, okay.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. We're very grounded in where we're from, and especially that area in Eastern Kentucky. Always will be a special place to us. And they actually put a sign up with our name on it, as well as Dwight Yoakam. He's from the area too, on the Country Music Highway, which is Route 23, goes through where we grew up. And so yeah, that was a very special weekend for us. The keys to the city of Prestonsburg might not seem like a grand thing to people across the country, but to us,
well, sure,
small town boys, it was really cool. There's been some. It seems like every week or two there's something out new that happens that we just kind of have to stop and really take it in. It's been a crazy couple of years.
Yeah, I think so too. And I was actually going to ask you about that, and I think that's pretty cool too. And just the fact that if you have support, from your hometown, it's going to grow from there. You know what I mean? If as soon as you start getting support from somewhere, people are going to.
You're more likely to get support from your friends and family and the people that you know and where you come from.
Sure.
As opposed to traveling 1,200 miles across the country and start from scratch. And that's just, and that, for us, like I said, like I always keep going back to, for us, the way everything has happened and turned out, it's just been, everything has worked, and for us, we've done it the way that we've needed to do it, and we're very, very fortunate and blessed to have the support we do. It's so unique and special, and I think once people come to a show, they really see what it's about. It's almost like a family reunion.
Sure. And you've got the music out there. You've got plenty of music, and people are really, kind of, honing into the style of music, whatever you want to call it, the genre, whatever. You don't have to put a name on it. It is
Right.
what it is, and people like it. And just to jump back real quick about your music, how can people get their hands on it? I think I read it. It's on Amazon and Google Play. What's some of the ways that they can find it?
Yeah, the easiest way is our website. That would be sundybest.net, SUNDY, best.net. That's got it, everything that we have on there. But yeah, like you said, Amazon, Google Play. It's obviously on iTunes. It's really most places digitally. If you're trying to pick up a physical copy, I would say if you live outside of the region where we're at, around Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee, Virginia area, I would just order it online. But
Okay.
You never know. There are some small record stores that are carrying it, so it's worth looking for. But yeah.
And let's sneak in one more tune here, quick. And then I wanna come back and just touch on one more thing with you, Chris, while I have you. But another one of those songs that are off your album, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier. It's called Four Door, and that's FOUR, Four Door. You guys wrote all the music on the album. Where did that inspiration come from?
That song, it came out really fast. Really, I remember it was about a year ago. Yeah, it's April. It was a little bit over a year. I think December of 2013 or January of 2014. I was in my kitchen, and it just, I don't know, the melody kind of hit me, and I went upstairs to the bathroom, which I feel like Nick and I always play music in the bathroom for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, it just kind of happened, and I'd sent it over to Nick, and then he played it, and we bounced a couple things off of each other, and that's what we came up with, and we knew right away that was one we were definitely going to include on our next project. It's one of my personal favorites, and it's just, we try to create something that will be relevant years from now, just as it is today, and maybe even be relevant to people that are older than us, and that seemed to be the case so far. And this is one of those songs that it just takes me back to a special place, and I know it does Nick too. And we're just waiting on Chevy to pick it up and put it in a commercial.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, a little something called Four Door from the Kentucky Boys, Chris and Nick, better known as Sundy Best, and off their. This is a great album, guys. You really need to get your hands on this album from Spotify, iTunes. You can also find it on Amazon, Google Play, and you want to go to their website and find Salvation City on their website. And now keep in mind, guys, if you're going to search it, you want to do sundybest.net. That's SUNDYBEST.net. And, I was checking out the website, too. There's a lot of great information on there about these guys. And I'm telling you guys, you need to get your hands on this music. This Kentucky duo is hot. They're packing shows. They're doing lots of touring. Added some extra folks to the band recently. It's not just you and Nick anymore, Chris, right? You've actually added a few more folks to the band for this album.
Yeah, we wanted to. We were only going to add some people to the show if it felt right. We didn't want to just do it for the sake of doing it. And I'd been friends with Stan Nickel, who's playing lead guitar now, for Nick and I both have known him for a couple of years, and he's from Eastern Kentucky too, where we're originally from. And once we jammed with him some here at my house, he had a great friend of his, Teddy, who is now playing keys for us. They had met in Nashville and became great friends. And Stan is real similar to Nick and I. Both as just his outlook and his characteristics. So when he said that he had somebody that would fit great, we knew it was worth a shot. And when we all got together for the first time, I think we each knew that we had something special. So it's been a blast playing the show so far, and it feels like a band. We really try to make it feel that way, and it's all for the best outcome. There's no selfish motives
Nice.
involved in it at all.
Well, that's really good. And you guys, you're doing a lot of touring and you're getting out that way. But another way that people can find you, are you guys big into the social media? Are you onto the Facebook?
Oh yeah, we're all over it.
Yeah.
That's actually, it's probably pretty entertaining too. If you want to at least have a smile or a laugh every now and then. I feel like our social media stuff is there's no filter. But I think when we started out, like I said, back 5 years ago, Nick and I, that was when MySpace and Facebook was really becoming really big, and that's when Twitter started, and we had both been kind of big into social media with just our our personal accounts. Being in college, I feel like when you're in college, it's like Facebook and Twitter, and that's what everybody does. Well, they were big in those years when we were in school, and it's kind of, social media has been a really big tool in helping us spread our music and grow our story, and we've continued to watch it grow every day on each of those accounts, and I run all the stuff, and I have a blast doing it. So we're definitely easy to find as long as you can spell Sundy right.
And now, so you're the guy who answers the tweets or the posts and stuff. If people are talking to the social media, they're actually talking to you, which is really cool. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff comes from us. Twitter. So
it's a job in itself.
Like I said, well, it's really not. I think I've just always enjoyed communicating. After shows, we stick around and talk to people. We just like to, I don't know, we're really down to earth. I'd probably keep you on here longer, but you're going to have to kick me off the phone. So it's just our personality. We're very, very open.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that's awesome. And let me just throw this out there. You said you were up in Pittsburgh. We have a wonderful studio, and I invite all my guests that if you're ever on the eastern side of the state, anywhere around Wilkes-Barre or Philadelphia, we're literally, even in New York City, we're actually only a couple hours out of New York City because we're on the eastern side. And we always throw out that invitation to all my artists to say, hey, listen, if you happen to be in the area and you got the time, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Be careful what you wish for.
I would love to see you guys walk through the door. That would be totally awesome.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
Oh, you'd like us here. We're like the best dysfunctional fun family you can find here at PPR.
Well, we probably get along real good.
Oh, I have no doubt. So I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there before I forgot, because I always like to do that. And you mentioned that you were close before. If your tour does take you nearby, or you have an extra day of travel time and you happen to be nearby, please reach out, and we'd love to have you here.
That would be great.
But we're talking to Chris from Sundy Best, and totally down to earth guys. Kentucky homegrown, got together with a couple of more guys now. They're putting out shows, they're selling shows, they're putting out music. I honestly don't think they sleep. But you're a bunch of Southern boys, and actually, I like to end my show with a song in a couple of hours. Just remind everybody about it because, of course, today's Wednesday. You know, we're airing the interview today, but the whole show gets recorded and thrown back out on the airwaves on a Sunday morning at 8 o'clock with the interview in the second hour. So if people missed any of it or didn't quite catch something, I like to remind them at the end of the show. And you've got one more tune that we were discussing, throwing it out there for the folks that I'd like to play at the end of the show. Tell us a little bit about Southern Boy.
Yeah, it's you know, it's kind of, I think I Want to Go Home is an, you know, to us, it was a very, we were very fortunate to have a song like that come about, especially when it did, and everybody sings it, and Southern Boy is a song that everybody sings at our shows now, so it's for me, I think it's just it's an inspirational song that, you know, anybody can really get out and do whatever they want to do. You know, it's kind of what we touched on earlier in the early part of this interview. You know, there's nothing you can't do if you want to do it bad enough.
Right.
And, you know, that's kind of where that song came from. And, you know, we're out working, trying to be somebody and do something on our terms. And that's a special song that kind of embodies that feel.
And you know, I don't want to keep you too long, but you just said something, and I'd like you to explain this a little bit. When you say your music, you put it out there, you want it to mean something. What you guys write comes from the heart and who you are, or whatever. And I read a little something about the title of the album, Salvation City, and why you picked that particular name for this album. And I think it's interesting. I think you should explain that. Where does Salvation City come from? What are you trying to get across with the title of that album?
For us, I can explain what it means for us, and we kind of hope that it'll translate to others. But this record in particular, once we got these songs together, it was the overall feel of them as a whole, not just track by track. I think for us to listen to the record in its entirety, it's kind of hopefully we want to create a nice little break or a distraction from, you know, everybody's everyday life or whatever may be going on, because our music and what we get to do for a living, that's our Salvation City.
Uh-huh.
You know, everybody needs a distraction in life to take them away from any negativity.
Right.
And it's music, going to the movies, going to the bar, going out to eat, or anything like that, basketball, sport, whatever. You kind of just want an escape. And for us, getting to do what we do is, you know, we're human beings as well. There's stuff that gets on our nerves and things that we just kind of want to escape for a moment. And getting to play music and write music and sing it, that's our Salvation City. So we kind of, you know, it's more, it's not necessarily, I guess it is a concept, but it's, you know, that's why we named the tour the Salvation City Tour, because we hope we are creating an environment that is somewhat of an escape, and people can come and have a good time and leave the door a little bit better than when they came in.
Nice. And I think that's what people really need/want from music. You know, I mean, I think it's a need.
That's what I want.
You know, yeah, well, yeah, I mean, people just want to forget about the bills and forget about the job and forget about, you know, everything that made them crazy all day long when they step into a concert or they turn on their music or they pop the CD in. You know, they want to be taken someplace else. And I think your music does that, and I think it helps them, and I think understanding the whole entire process of the idea of the title of the album and the music that's in the album and your tour. I mean, when you get out there, are you finding that people relate to that, when, especially with your posts and stuff like that? Do you think people are getting it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, and they either are going to get it or they're not, and really that's out of our control. Like I said, we're doing this. It's our kind of our Salvation City, and it really is. It's the most enjoyable thing we've done yet. We're having the most fun we've ever had. And each night playing it's a memory, an experience, and if we're in that environment wholly, 100% of us, if we're, getting the most out of the music that we can, I think it translates, and people, they see that, and it doesn't take long to tell if something's real or not, and the response has been really great. Like I said, it's more than we could have dreamed of, and we're really excited for the future.
So, speaking of future, that was my next question. So, what can you tell us? Can you give us a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge of what's up for Sunday Best? I mean, I know you're going out on tour, but come on, give me some insight. I'm your best friend now. Give me a little info. Huh?
I said just like that, right?
Just like that. What's up? What's new?
I think touring right now, we've got this new show, and everything's going so well right now that we're just kind of living in the tour mode. So we're going to be playing a lot of shows. There's still a lot of places. You mentioned a couple on the phone earlier. You mentioned Philadelphia. We've never played Philly. There's still a lot of places around the country that we haven't played that we're trying to get to and work our way out. So that's probably priority number one, but just off the top of my head, I would love to record a live record from a show and do that at some point to give people that haven't seen us, just a glimpse to what that is, and because it is different than in the studio, and so we'll see. But like I said, the touring is the biggest thing right now, and what we're going to be doing.
Awesome.
But there will be, more music coming at some point. I don't know if it'll be new music this year, but definitely next year. Like we talked about earlier, we've put out a lot of music in a short period of time, so we kind of got to let everybody
catch up.
A lot of people. We played a sold-out show basically at an hour away from where we grew up a couple months ago, and the people that work there who we know, they didn't even know we had a new CD out.
Yeah.
But so it's cool. We're having a blast because it's these songs that have been out, a lot of people have heard already, but there's a lot of people that follow us that just haven't heard them yet, and to be able to turn them on to new songs in our live show is pretty cool.
Nice. Well, if you want to listen to some new music and get your hands on what these guys have out, of course they've, like we mentioned before, you've got some of the previous albums out there like Door Without a Screen and Bring Up the Sun, but your latest album, of course, Salvation City, is out there. You guys can find their information on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play. But the best place to find out about where they're going to be and what they're going to be doing is at sundaybest.net. And that's SUNDYBEST.net. And, of course, if you search them out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, social media butterflies they are.
That's a good word.
Yeah. Folks can track you down and hear some of that new music and find out what you guys have going on, even if maybe they hadn't heard maybe they missed out on the second album, I mean, that's what this kind of stuff is all about. So I want my listening audience to make a point of going to the website and checking you guys out. And we've already played 2 songs. We've got one more coming up at the end of the show. And if they're anything like me, they're going to love it like I did. So I really appreciate you guys spending some time with me today, Chris, and getting the word out about you.
No, we really appreciate the opportunity. It's been fun. I definitely would love to do it again, and if we're around town there, we'll hit you guys up.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. The invitation stands, and the doors are always open. So yeah, keep your peeps in touch with me, and just tell Lacey, yeah, you got to book us up here in Pennsylvania. Get on her butt.
I will.
But hey, I appreciate your time, Chris. I don't want to hold you up too much more, and anything new down the pike too. Even if you don't get up here, feel free to get back in touch. I constantly have artists coming back on. when they've got something new going on. Be glad to get you rescheduled in a couple of months or next year, like you said, when you're thinking about getting some more new music out. We'd be glad to have you back on the show, even if it is just over the phone.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. We would both really appreciate and enjoy that. So you'll be hearing from us.
All right. Well, good luck with everything you and Nick and the rest of the guys have going on. And, just be true to yourself, do what you do. And I think you guys, you've got a nice future. You've already had a busy 2015, but it sounds like you're ready to rock the house for the rest of the summer and the year. And good luck with everything, Chris.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks again.
All right. Take care, sir. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.